What up, squad? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy. Listen, this past weekend has been nothing short of a dumpster fire, just for voice actors in general, but especially senior voice actor Wendy Lee. I just don't know what she was thinking when she responded to things like this in an aggressive manner. There was no need for that, especially when you got to reprise the role of Yoruichi Shihoin. But most of this stuff happened with her replying to a tweet to Aneris, who showed a lot of respect for Wendy Lee and said that she was excited to play that role and so forth. Now, the original tweet, of course, is of Aneris when she said, "Hey y'all, the studio and client decided to go in a different direction, so I'm no longer voicing Yoruichi in Bleach Stadium Blood War, and my recordings will be replaced. It meant a lot to take on such an iconic woman of color. I appreciate all the love. I'll still be voicing Hiyori." Now, I made a tweet and I made a video about it last time, so this is just pretty much a follow-up video on that. So Kaylee Mills, "That's wild. You sounded fantastic as her, and I'm sorry you're going through this." Wendy Lee responds, "Just maintaining the iconic character, Kaylee. I don't even know why Wendy Lee responded to this. I don't understand." And so Kaylee Mills responds, "This is not a slight at you, which is true, just a choice to recast and then renege after the fact. Regardless of the reason, it was a really uncool thing to do to Aneris," which is true. Viz should have got their ducks in a row and said, "Hey, we want you to be a filler, but we don't want you to like announce it," because VAs do get credit for NPCs and shit in anime, like other voices and all that stuff. And we know Yoruichi's iconic. People definitely were looking to see who was voicing Yoruichi. We never knew who was voicing Yoruichi until the episode literally dropped. No one knew who was voicing Yoruichi. That is the same thing with Shinji as well. Shinji Hirako. We all thought it was going to be the original VA, but Alex Lee came out and said, "I'm voicing Shinji. I wanted to hold back and not tell anybody." That's the problem with that. They do not say who's voicing who until the episodes come out. So this was a huge surprise in a sense. You get what I'm saying? Wendy Lee responds with, "No, question mark. And what position does that put me in? This is the biz. We all get recast at some point. In this case, it was mistakenly done by the person scheduling." So I'm assuming Viz had something to do with not making time to schedule Wendy Lee, who was originally casted for Yoruichi. That's why I came to Aneris getting her lines replaced and so forth, because they actually redid it so that it fit with the rest of the core that's going to be coming out soon. Kaylee responds with, "I'm truly, honestly just trying to show support for someone who was hurt, but I'll try to be quiet. I'll try to be more quiet in the future. I'm sorry if what I said came as an attack. You're both very talented actors who didn't deserve public discourse," which is true. She's being very nice about it. Kaylee is. And Wendy Lee responds with, "Hurt by scheduling error? It's the biz. Mistakes happen. Thought after all these years I might have your support too." I don't see how Kaylee doesn't still show support by saying, you know, what she said before, praised her for what it's worth, and said, you know, "You're both very talented actors who didn't deserve public discourse." For Wendy Lee to say, "Hurt by scheduling error, it's the biz, mistakes happen. Thought after all these years I might have support too." It's like Wendy is burning bridges on purpose. Moving on to another one, Faye, who is the voice of Aqua in Konosuba, by the way. She says under Aneris' tweet, "Wow, I have many thoughts, but power and the utmost respect for you for your class. It's clear to me this has nothing to do with your talent. Looking forward to your next killer role." I am on the fence with what she said when it says, "It's clear to me this has nothing to do with your talent." That tells me that they got rid of Aneris because it was race related or something worse. I don't like that. I don't like that wording. Though we are just the audience looking from the outside in, unless you're a voice actor, you're the only one that's gonna really know. But to say this, I don't like it. And then Wendy says, "Nothing whatsoever, but I did establish the role years ago." I don't even know what made her say this. You are a voice actor. You made Yoruichi Yoruichi, but you can't say that this is you and they can only look at you, because if you're not available, they have to look at the next best thing. And if someone's auditioning for it and can be your replacement, they have to go with that. They can't just keep you there because you have other things going on in your schedule. So this was just unnecessary. Like, it really was unnecessary, and it really shows that she had an ego here. And again, I love Wendy Lee, but this was really nasty in a way, like really pumping your head up with the ego. Here's one from Tiana. "I'm so sorry." That's all she says. Wendy responds, "Just following what Viz requested. Thought I too might have your support." I don't see this as aggressive, just because she's really saying, "I'm following what Viz requested." It's just that she's like, "I thought you might be still supporting me even though you feel sorry for Daenerys. It's like, I don't know what she was expecting. And there's more stuff with Tiana and Wendy, and Tiana go into more detail about it, about being in support of Daenerys and all that, and it still doesn't come off as aggressive whatsoever. Another one is Kellen Goff. This is the one that really had her like emotions running high, and I can tell for sure. Kellen says, I'm so sorry. Again, this is under Daenerys' tweet. I'm so sorry, A. For what it's worth, you will always be my Yoruichi. I do not know why the hell he said that. There was no reason to put Yoruichi's name in there. That's just sending the wrong message. There was no need to put that in there. Wishing this to be a blip in the sea of W's for you moving forward, prayers. And Wendy Lee responds with, I see. So that was kind of okay for Wendy to do. I'm cool with Wendy saying, I see, because it's really just like, okay, that's how you want to be. And it doesn't come off as aggressive. It's just like, The problem I have with Kellen's tweet is that it says, for what it's worth, you'll always be my Yoruichi. Easily could have said, for what it's worth, you'll still be an amazing voice actor. Problem solved. There was no need for this. This is where Wendy Lee should have said, what does that mean for me then? Because I voiced the character too, so what does that mean for me? Am I not your Yoruichi too? She could have easily said that, but she really left it as, I see. Another tweet from Chris. Flat out wrong, you deserve better, and we all know it. Wendy responds, wrong, in quotations. For Viz to maintain the OG cast? Okay, Chris. Now, this one was kind of aggressive. I don't know why she went at Chris like this. Viz did try to get most of the original VAs back when Thousand Year Blood War aired. David Lodge excluded. We do know of Jamison Price. Jamison Price made it clear that he wanted to give people of color more opportunities and better access and so forth, and he voluntarily chose to step down. Same way with Aaron Fitzgerald. Aaron Fitzgerald said the same thing. I won't be back. One reason is because it's non-union and she's part of the union, and two, she did it voluntarily to give other people, a chance, and it ended up being Cher Kirby, who voices Mila Rose, which is fantastic as well. But Wendy in this situation never made a tweet, never made a video about it. She never said she was stepping away from being Yoruichi. She never did that. So I feel like Viz did this behind her back. They still should have done something as far as like reached out to Wendy about it, because she did do an interview way back, and I think it was like August, expressing that she can't wait to play Yoruichi again. She never said, I'm stepping down from my role, yada, yada, yada. A core one, she was Manoli and Tatsuki. That was the only role she got, is like extras. But we knew that when Yoruichi was going to appear, it was going to be Wendy Lee. That's what everyone thought, because that's just what it is. Of course, we saw the changes happening with everyone. And I think it started with like Rose, then Shinji came, then everyone else was like, we knew about Kenpachi. That was just a done deal. Looking at this, wrong for Viz to maintain the OG cast. Okay, Chris. Kind of aggressive. I don't know why she came at Chris like that, but she's trying to pin it on Viz because Viz wants the OG cast, yet they didn't reach out to her and she's part of the OG cast. So it was just weird in general. If Viz had a problem with Wendy Lee, they should have just addressed it and said, we plan to move forward with someone else. But it's so underhanded how things were happening in the background. Casting Daenerys, then removing her, and then putting Wendy Lee back in there. Like, we're never going to know exactly what all transpired until one or the other comes down and says something. Here's something else, another one under Daenerys' tweet. From Jenny, it says, I love you and you're a goddamn shining star. Wendy says, guess you'd be all for replacing this role too. I don't know exactly why Wendy is getting even more aggressive with this, because by saying guess you'd be all for replacing this role too, Jenny didn't say anything. She just said, I love you and you're a goddamn shining star. She didn't say, I love you and you're Yoruichi. I don't care what nobody says. Like, Jenny didn't say nothing like that. But Wendy's just all about, you want my role replaced. And it's like, Wendy, you're literally reprising the role. There's no reason to act like this. What are you doing, girl? What are you doing? Now here's one under Xander, and I forgot what Xander said originally, but this one says, you're really disappointed, Xander? I see. Xander says, Wendy, me being sad because an actor got cast, announced, and then had to deal with a very public recast doesn't mean I hold any ill will towards you. I think the whole thing got way more complicated and toxic than it needed to. Wendy says, recasting is part of the biz. It happens, it was a scheduling mistake, but interesting to see how quickly my colleagues are ready to see me off. I see what they mean, because no one celebrated her return. No one celebrated Wendy Lee coming back. The fans, such as me and many others, had to find out by watching the episode a few times, like, is that really Wendy Lee? I mean, it could be like some AI shit, because AI is starting to sound really good. Don't get me wrong, I'm not for it. Watching the episode, like, no one's like, yeah, good job, Wendy Lee's back, yada yada. Because in the situation with her coming back, you can't celebrate it because Daenerys just got removed just out of nowhere. And it's kind of crazy. You got to really read the room, which is what everyone was kind of saying to Wendy, but she just went off the deep end and just decided to do her own thing. And there was something else under Damon Mills that came up. I forgot what Damon Mills said, but Wendy responds with, Staff Studio Polis made a simple casting mistake. Viz wants the iconic OG cast intact. Your friend still has roles and will be fine, I'm sure. This is probably the most aggressive thing and wrong thing you could possibly say. And the reason why I say this is because when you put your friend still has roles and will be fine, I'm sure, she will be fine. Daenerys will be fine. But at the same time, she was excited to play Yoruichi because, again, women of color, it is what it is. Honestly, if you are good at the role, you are good at the role. That's not to say that Daenerys didn't audition for that role and rightfully so earned it. As legacy VAs should get first dibs. If they decide to step down, like Jamison Price or Aaron Fitzgerald, if they decide to step down, I'm all for it. Step down, be done with it, you're out of there. But this situation is just too damn messy. It's even worse because your friend still has roles and will be fine, I'm sure. Wendy also still has roles as Tatsuki and Manoli, but that was only for those small parts. Daenerys still is going to voice Hiyori, so I guess that's still fine too. This entire weekend was fucked. It really was. It was just fucked from beginning to end. I hope nothing more comes out to light. I mean, I've seen other VAs come out of nowhere, and some of them have said that Wendy Lee is very hard to work with. Viz is going to look at this. They are going to look at this and be like, maybe we made the wrong choice by bringing her back and putting her in as a character when we should just stuck with Daenerys and backed her up. Wendy Lee should have never responded. She should have just kept quiet. She should have just made a tweet on Monday and said, hey, I'm voicing Yoruichi again. How excited are you? That could have been the end of it, done deal. But for her to show out to her fellow colleagues and then not understand by reading the room of the situation, everyone is like against her. You are a senior VA to these individuals. Daenerys looked up to you and wanted to make sure that she did just as much as a good job as you did. It's just a slap in the face. Like, it really is. It's like you were never on their side. I get that she never wanted to give the role up because she was excited about it from the get-go. If recasting is going to happen, it's just going to happen. And apology is not going to work in this situation because it's not going to feel like anything now. She showed how immature she was about it. It's going to make it look like she was forced to do it. But if that's the case, she should have had like a PR manager, and the PR manager didn't do his fucking job. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I didn't want to make it too long, but it ended up being longer than it was because there was so much we had to go over as far as tweets and my thoughts on it. And now it's just like, what the fuck? Hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comment section, let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notification, of course, follow on socials for more videos and updates of sorts. And until next time, stay wavy and Bankai.